Szechuan sauce. All right, let's talk about high fantasy Fabio style RPG experience. Glorious, bright, brilliant, gleaming plate mail, chainmail bikinis, clearly augmented women, glorious, gleaming, brilliant dragons, bad guys that have like a small amount of like a soot mark on it or a stain. Otherwise, glorious, brilliant, potent, high produced 80s metal equivalent, and by I mean 80s hair metal. You understand? Equivalent of fantasy. Now, you know me, I like it dark, dirty, real, visceral, grimy, grungy. I like it like this. Within the Ring of Fire saga book. 77 throws, theological codex, and more. Available at drivethrurpg.com. Game like a true RPG god. Now, let's talk a little bit about the grimy. Let's talk a little bit about the high fantasy. Now, these are two very distinctive, different genres. They feel different. They play different. And you certainly might enjoy both. And it presents a different sort of game. Where, at all times, you're just trudged out of the sewer, out of the old catacomb, with 1,000 cobalt braids smashed against your body, against your cloak, against your talberd, against your greaves. And you stand out looking gooder than them all. You look beautiful, brilliant, bright, and baller at all times. Your hair is not mussed, even in the slightest fashion. You smell good as a ma, too. And the fantasy, the medieval village, it's not all a bunch of lepers and cripples and blind people. It's not chickens running around. It's all cobblestone. It's all looking good as fuck. Everything looks good. Yeah, they might have an old-style costume, but goddamn, we know that witch there in a tavern is like a straight-up dime. You get me? And you're seeing that over and over again. Everything's good. Everything's model-esque. We got Fabio there with the flowing, gorgeous hair. Like, what? I got a big chest. I don't whoop your ass unless you're a goose. That bullshit. That's something that produces, in a way, in a vein, cartoonish, very reminiscent of the 80s. Very big, with the leather pants. Maybe there's an explosion over here. But nothing's getting messed up. Your hair is going to be straight as fuck. We're not going to get into those grimy, grungy, dark, dirty, visceral experiences. We're not going for any degree of verisimilitude on this one. We're going for this sort of beautiful, picture-perfect form that you've created, and it stays that way all the time. Like a video game. It plays very much like a video game, and I think a lot of players from playing video games get with that. Well, he looks like this. Yes, I've just trudged through the sewer for 17 days straight. But no, I still look like this. I look straight as fuck down in that sewer. That's right. That's right. The water just happened to be a little green. It's straight, though. That sewer is straight as fuck. I'm still looking beautiful. I'm looking more beautiful and more baller opulent than ever before. You understand? At all times, Maybe the breeze comes and blows my cloak ever so slightly. I puff out my chest, and I say, what? And the kobold's brains be bashed. Now, we're not going to go all hyper-violent and describe it. It's going to be, gentle sword play, and, like, he takes one right behind the arm, like, and down he goes. We're not getting into the brains being bashed out by the hammer of justice, righteous goodness. Super vile badness. Whatever. The hammer's there. The brain pan's there. The brain pan's now there. The hammer still right here. The brain's also right here and there and there and there. There are a lot of brains and there are a lot of places. There were a lot of brain pans and there was a hammer. You do the math. So, the glorious sort of image, I personally don't particularly like to play that style. I want to get in there. I don't like it at all, to be honest with you. I want to get in there with the hyper-violence. I want to get in there with the description, with the smell of the beast, with the scratching, rending claws. Shit, I want to be scared of that motherfucker. Is that poisonous? Am I getting a disease? Oh, God, what about the demonic cold? Not the demon like jumping out like he's like a gargoyle. Like, yes, I am the demon, and I'm here to beat thine ass. What be good with you, Fabio-haired motherfucker? Well, I'm actually Fabio, and I'm a half-elf, you bitch-ass demon. but I will kill you. Oh, yeah? Right to the demon. Thunk. Oh, no, I'm dead now. I want to get in there to the ancient elders, to the horrible things, the sliding seam, this darkness that bubbles out of the cracks to spill forth and just annihilate you, to slide into you, to penetrate you, to impregnate every cell inside you, and to whisper horrible, horrible truths that you know are true, and cause that sanity to come bleeding out of your eyes. That's what I like. That's the dirtiness, the grudginess, the violence, the burning truths of your RPG mind. And I think, obviously, there's loads of middle ground to this as well. But I bring this up because a lot of people seem to play bog standard default on, my cloak is always in immaculate condition. Fuck no, I've had it since first level. I'm 92nd level now. Yes, about 1 billion arrows have been fired at me. Some of them even hit me, yes. I've been attacked with whips and halberds and even rocks. And even the troll threw shit at my face. But fuck that, I'm still looking nicer than a mug. It doesn't need to be changed, doesn't need to be updated, doesn't need to go through and get it sewed, doesn't need to come out of that sewer, just dripping filth. Come back from the ancient catacombs of the vampiric haunted goblin lords of Mugdal. With pustules on your face, with sores, with flies buzzing around, with gnats, with mosquitoes, with sickness and illness and mucus coming from the nose, with a fatted, white, infected tongue, with stubble on thine face. No, fuck the bullshit. It's always immaculate, always pure, always perfect. We got a shiny shield. We got plate mail armor. We like what? Forgotten rounds in this bitch. So that's really something I think that you should think about when you're putting it together. The embrace not only the level of contrast of dark and bright in your role-playing game, but also because that's so tonally important. It just sets the mood, the pace, the theme of the game, the way the players are thinking about it, the way it interacts with their internal mental image of the role-playing experience. If they're looking at it sort of anime-ish, or they're looking at it with this big hair, like, head-banging, quiet riot kind of deal, or are we stripped down? Are we real? Are we biting, vicious, and still striving? One of the big problems with it is when you get into that Fabio, when you get into that Kevin Zorbo, if you will, it can be hard as fuck to actually make the characters likable. I don't ever lose. I beat the shit out of people, and it's all super sanitized. I am G+, maybe PG. That's about it. No, you don't see no brain pans up with me. You don't see no hearts just being ripped out of motherfuckers, or spines, or punctured kidneys that are just dripping out of the back of someone who's trying to crawl away, but it's just like a gas drop from the back jack. We're not getting that. We're not seeing that. The horror, the mind-shattering horror, the traumatic event of violence. It's different than that. However you want to go about it, different styles can be fine, particularly if you're keeping it in character, but it produces a style where the players are, yes, we beat the ass of everything and we win, and we do it in a way that isn't particularly engaging, at least to the limit, and often that same sort of game, they just beat the ass, and maybe the bad guy that's at the very end is fucking a problem. But that ass was beaten, stayed beat otherwise around. But when it's close, when it's scraping, when it maybe you just weren't close enough, and you can feel that. It's like, fuck. That can really add a different impact, a different way they feel, they act, they interact with the emotional connection to the scenes, to the group of scenes, to the story, to the game, to the saga, can be very different with a more realistic, violently toned sort of combat. And it will actually, and this might seem a little odd, the more violent your game is and truly engaged violently, the less combat you'll have. You will have way less combat than a game that is engaged where combat means nothing. Ah, we're gonna beat the ass now, so stay beaten. Well, still have my fucking hair unmatched, even in one fucking hair. You coming out looking like Paulie from the Jersey Shore, just and you're straight. And you'll just kill me again because there's no real investment. There's no danger. Hell, you're not even in danger of getting a hair messed, right? And if you do get knocked out, you just stand back up and be glorious as fuck again. So that's something that I think you should really think about as a game master, as a player, bringing that tone a little bit darker, a little bit grungier, a little bit more violent. And I think you'll find that the implication is the combat, the violence is going to mean more, way more. Like, and they'll be thinking, they're not looking at a COBOL in terms of experience bubble. They're like, ooh, okay, I got to murder them, and that's going to be, shit, it's going to be dirty. It's going to be real. It's going to be violent. I might get hurt. I might get killed. I might have a nagging injury to myself. I might have my things broken, destroyed, set on fire, whatever. So we're interacting differently because of the tonal differences. And there's a lot of other tonal differences to address and to get to. Those are different videos. But it so much impacts how the characters think about the game. And the way they think about the game is the way the game is. Because that's what the game is. It's how your players and you are thinking about it. That's all it is. That's all make-believe is the way you and them are thinking about it. And you want to get on the same wavelength. And you set the tone as a game master, as a flame tender, as a dungeon master, as a keeper. You set the tone. So really think about that. And often it's just the way other people who have done it and done it with you before have done it. So think about getting beyond that and trying other styles, other tones, other flavors. And you can mix and match, and you can take things up and down. And when the characters come back in town, this is probably the best way to determine what style you're doing it. When they walk back in town from that horrible tomb of Moltux, goblin, vampire, swine flu collaboration, if you will. The coven of collaboration of swine flu and goblins and vampires, when they come back from there, are they static, glorious, and shiny? Or do they look like they've just been through hell, been through a war, their clothes ripped up as their armor damaged? Are they missing things? Does somebody have like bandages and huge cuts and big bangs in their armor and just filth everywhere? Maybe they even tried to clean up, but tried to clean up went from unbelievably like a apocalypse upon your person to really bad. And this also puts things like a prestidigitation over to an enormous degree because it makes it so valuable. Well, God, we stink. We're disgusting looking. We're covered in things. We got fucking bed bugs all over our headpiece. We got fucking fleas and lice and fucking magic, I don't know, roly-polies of death in our eye sockets. That's a lot different than, I am glorious and standing back here and everything looks awesome. And hey, look, we got a lot of dimes in this fucking city. Oh, look at that bitch. She's like an 8 out of 10. Get your ass right to the muck with her. But there is no muck. Just perfect cobblestone that the horses never shit on. So, think about that. Think about tone. Tone is very, very important for what you're doing in a role-playing game. As always, I am your main man, the deity of RPG. Pick up your copies of Within the Ring of Fire or drivethroughrpg.com. $75 bundle. Hit me up on Facebook. Get your PDF action for only $75 every PDF ever released for Within the Ring of Fire. We are still working on our next book for Within the Ring of Fire. And make sure you're on Sunday, you tune in for our new Rick and Morty. That's going to be exciting for your mind piece as well. I'm off. I'm going to go pick my kid up. Y'all have a good weekend now.